Good morning. Good morning. You are welcome to our today's lecture on pharmaceutical calculations, BDT 253. We'll continue from where we stopped in variation. I can remember vividly in our last class, we stopped at inverse what? Variation. We introduced inverse variation and moved the proportion, and I show you how to change the sign of proportionality to sign of what? Equality. And introduction of constants and how the equation will look like. And if you now want to find the value of I from state 1 to state 2, how it will look like. And I told you that Boyle's law is an example of what? Inverse what? Variation. So I want us to, in this class, to solve one or two questions in order to explain this. Okay, I want you to, as usual, one or two questions in inverse variation. Let's look at the questions and see what we can do with the questions. All right. Oh yeah, now no question. I'm entering joint variation since there's no question. Oh yeah, now. Let's convert. Let me see that thing you're right now, but let me see it. I gave you an assignment, you're writing on the board. No problem, write it. Maybe I will change the questions for you. Write on the board, it's okay. No, write it. You are wise. Write it on the board, don't worry. Let's solve it. I have been trying to avoid people to do this. You are still insisting that right on there. We are free now. You can do it. I will change the questions. You can do it. Feel free. Don't click to continue. Right. Continue. I have begged. Don't do this thing. You are still insisting on it. So do it and be happy. I will change your questions. Yes. What do you want, man? It's okay. Continue. Don't stop. From now onward, feel free. You can get questions from there. Feel free. It's okay. China, come and write what I write now. Don't change it to write that you wanted to write. Don't change it. Okay, the question says, if P varies inversely as the square of Q and P, when Q is 3, okay, find Q when P is 9. I don't understand. If P varies inversely as the what? Square of what? If P varies inversely as what? Square of what? Q. And P when Q is 3. This question is not complete. Look at the question well, please. Good. So if P varies inversely as the square of Q, and P is 9 when Q is what? 3. Find Q when P is what? 9. This is the proportionality, right? Yes. P is inversely proportional to what? Q squared. Now we introduce our constants. P now becomes what? K what? Q squared. So here now we were not told to find our, what is it called? Now K is now what to what? P what? Q squared. Here we are not told to find our, what is it called? All those connecting formula. You can simply move this K from one state to what? Another state. In that case, P1 what? Q square 1 is equal to what? P2 what? Q what? Square 2. So if that is the case now, the first P here is what? 9. P1 here is what? 9. Q1 is what? 3. So 3 squared 9 is equal to P2 is what? P2 is what? P2 is 9. Q2 is what? We don't know, right? Good. That's what we are looking for. So making this Q the sort of formula. First of all, we make the Q squared the sort of what? Formula. So we have, dividing both sides by 9, we have that Q2 squared is equal to what? 9 times what? This is 9, right? Yes. Over what? 9, which is what? 9, right? Yes. This implies that Q is square root of what? 9. Q is square root of what? 9, which is what? 3. So that means Q is what? 3 when P is what? 9. If you watch, let's check whether the variation is actually inverse. Watch. P is 9 here when Q is what? 3. Now when what? When P is 9 when Q is what? 3. What's going on here? Okay, it's not P and Q, it's P and what? Q what? Q what? Squared. It's P and what? Q what? Squared. So if P increases, Q will decrease twofold. Am I communicating? If P increases, Q will do what? Decrease what? Twofold. Now, but here, P is what here? 9, and Q is 3. Then P2 is what? The same 9. No change, sir. What am I saying? No change. It's what? The same thing. No change, right? Are we together? No change. Everything is still what? Are you sure the question is correct? Yes. No change in the question. Yes. P is 9. First one is 9. Second one is 9. No change. Okay, it's okay. It should be what? 3. There should be no change in the other one too, because there's no change in what? You know, I told you that in variation, a change in one brings about change in the other what? Quantity or item. A change in one quantity or item brings another what? Okay. More questions? Now listen. From the name joints, It's just in a simple term, it's just a combination of what? Direct and what? Inverse what? Variation. You see something like this. You will see something like this. X, basically, if X can be directly proportional to Y, if X is directly proportional to Y, and the same X is inversely proportional to what? Y. Z. There's no way X can be directly proportional to Y at the same time, inversely proportional to the same Y. It's not possible. Let's assume we have three items or three what quantities, X, Y, Z, and X is directly proportional to Y. The same X is also what? Inversely proportional to what? Z. Now you can combine these two things and get a joint variation expression. In that case now, you simply say, since X is directly proportional to Y, and X is inversely proportional to what? To what? Z. You can combine it as this. You have that X is what? And what? Good. And what? Good. To what? So this and will now change to what? Dot what? 1 over Z. So X is now what? Directly proportional to Y and inversely proportional to what? Z. So if you have maybe an expression that says that X is directly proportional to Y at the same time inversely proportional to what? Z. You just bring everything together in this form, and we have that X is directly proportional to what? Y over what? Is proportional to what? Y over what? Z. And in this case now, if you want to remove this sign of proportionality, you will add a what? You will put a what? Constant. Now, if that is the case, now you have something like this, that X is now equal to what? K dot what? Y over what? Z. That means X is equal to what? Ky what? Z. Ky what? Z. Ky what? Z. Now, with this now, you have that K is now equal to what? X what? Y what? K is what? X what? Y, S, Z. What business do I have with Y this morning? X Z over what? Y, good. This is K. So moving K from one state 1 to state 2. Remember that in every state, K is always what? The same thing. So K1 is now equal to what? X1 what? Because what this means is that K1 is equal to what? X1 Z1 over what? Y1. And K2 is equal to what? X2 Z2 over what? Y2. As the case may be. So having that at the back of our mind, we now bring it into this equation. This implies that X Z1 over what? Y1 is equal to what? X2 what? Z2 over what? Y2. Which is also equal to what? X3 Z what? 3 over what? Y3. Which is equal to what? Bam 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 to X what? N Z what? N over what? Y what? N. Wherever you want it to stop, it will give you the same thing. So basically, X, we take this one. X1 Z1 over Y1 is equal to what? X2 Z2 over what? Y2. Use this one if the question has no business with connecting what? Formula. But if the question has to do with what? Connecting formula, you find K at this point. Okay? You find what? K at this point. After finding K at this point, you put the value of K into this equation. That will not give you the what? Connecting formula. So this equation now will give you the connecting formula. But you should find K first. Using the first set of value for X, Y, Z. Find K. Then the value of K will now put it back to this equation. If you put it back now, this will give you form the what? Linking or connecting what? Formula. Or relationship between what? X, Y, and what? Z. So remember when to use this. If the question wants you to find a connecting or linking formula, but if the question have no business with that, they just want you to go straight to the next state of X when the next state of Y and Z have been given. You first see the value for the first set of all of them, first state for all of them. Then next one now they will ask you maybe they'll ask you to find the next value of the next state of Y, and they give you Z and what? X. This is how the question normally comes. They may go directly, or you may ask to find the linking formula first. When that one is done, you now move to the next what? State. Please, when I say get question, I'm here to solve as many. So far, our time, I want to finish everything concerning variation today. So, we'll solve as many as question. I placed an embargo on lifting question from there because I know it doesn't make sense. Unless maybe if someone met me somewhere that is not in this class, maybe I have time to look at whatever explanation, but not in this class. I told us, this is where I'll give you. I've given back to you to go and study. This is where I'll give you. And for some time, you've been fighting for me to answer questions from there. I've been dodging it. I keep saying it. I don't like repeating myself. I keep saying it. Still. No. I won't take it again. This is the end. What I will do, feel free to ask questions from that place. Just ask questions from. Feel free now. You are free. I have lifted the words. I lifted it. Ask questions you don't understand now. You don't know how to do assignments. Ask questions you don't understand there. I'll answer it. No problem. I'll cool down to set question for your quiz. I will not do the quiz again today. Whenever your questions is ready, we'll do it. Just feel free to ask questions. It's clear that you don't even know it and you don't want to do something about it. You don't care. You don't care. All you know is give us garbage in, garbage out. You don't want to think and help yourself. No problem. You can ask question, I will solve it on the board. No problem. I will solve. Give question now. If you don't want to give me question, I'll go to the next variation, partial variation. And if I'm done, no more question. Next thing is quiz on this topic. Bring question now. Let's solve on the board. Number what? Come right on the board. Come fast. No time to waste. Fast. Okay, the question says X varies directly as the product of U and V, and inversely as their sum. If X is 3 when V is 1, what is the value of X if U is 3 and V is what? 3. To solve this, you must first of all understand this variation. This is a clear case of what? Joint what? Variation. The same V, X is directly proportional to what? Products. The same X is inversely proportional to what? Their sum. Now, first of all, X is what? Give me marker. All right, thank you. X is what? Directly proportional to what? U what? V, right? And what? X inversely proportional to what? Right? So from what we did, what this implies is that X is this proportional to what? UV over what? U plus what? V. Is it clear? Is it clear? Now we want to remove this sign of proportionality. We have what? We have what? That X is now equal to what? K what? K dot what? Over what? U plus V. Am I communicating? So that implies that K is now what? Equal to what? X what? U plus what? V over what? UV. Hope it's clear. Hope it's clear. Just simply do what? Cross multiply. Then divide both sides by what? UV. Now with this, now we are this thing now will give you the constant. Now, at this point now, this is the first set of what? X in bracket UV plus blah blah blah. This is the first set. So what it means is that the first set will always be equal to the what? The second what? Set. If you want to avoid some people may not be able to handle this. Okay? Some people may not be able to handle this. They will replace V where U should be. To avoid such confusion, you can find K first. Am I completing? After finding K, you now put it back to the equation, find the linking formula, and take it to the next state. Those that cannot handle this, those that can handle it, do x1 bracket u1 plus v1 is equal to uv1 u1 v1. This one is for those that can handle it, okay? And let's do the first one. You have what? K is equal to this now. That means K, what is the first set of, you remember I said that you find K, the constant, you using the first set of the what? Variables. The first set is what? S is 3, right? Yes. Bracket what? V equals to 1. V equal to what? 1. You know what? Wait. If S is 3, when V is 1, what is the value of X if U is 3? Let's see. X is 3, V is 1. No, it's not complete. Something is missing. It's missing in this equation. In this question, please go back to the question again. Something is missing. Please find the value of U for the first set of U. What is the first value of U?
It's 3.
The first U.
It's
3. Second U also 3.
Yes.
Okay. So U is what? 3 here, right? So let's go. We have what? 3 plus what?
1.
First V is what? 1. All over. U is what? First U, 3 times what?
1.
We have what? 3 plus 1 is what? 4. Times 3? 12. 12 divided by 3? 4. So X is what? Sorry, K is what? 4. K is what? 4. So if K is 4, you put it back to this equation to find the linking formula. So that means X is now equal to what? 4 UV over what? Your property. This is the linking what? Formula. This formula that connects U, V, and what? K. With this formula now, you can find any of the variables that you are looking for in another state. Are we together? So with this now, we have an X is equal to what? 4 UV over what? U plus V. Now we are told to find the value of X if U is 3 and V is what? 3. So let's find X. X is now equal to what? For what the value of U?
3.
3, right? 3. Okay. The operation is multiplication, so let's just multiply. 4 times what?
3.
Times what?
1.
V is what?
3 times 3.
All over. U is what?
3.
V is what? Hope you are following. 4 times 3 is what? 12. 12 times 3 is what? 36. Or calculator could not pay the cognitive. 12 times 3 is what? 36. Divided by 3 plus 3 is what? 6. The answer is what? 6. So X is what? 6. Please, if you cannot handle S1, Y1, blah, 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 please, Kukuma, find the connecting formula and do your thing. Don't go act Django and carry Y1 and put where the other one should be. Okay? So for those that want to act Django, you can still find it using this. From here now, you can see this 2x1. Are we together? Bracket what? V what? 1 is equal to what? U1 V what? 1. Open at this is certain as saying x1 u1 plus what? X1 was v1 over what? u1 what? v1. This is certain as saying this is also equal to what? x2 u2 plus x2 u2 v2 over what? u2 what? v2. You are given the first set of u to be what? First set, x is what? 3, right? So 3 times what? u1 is what? 3. Plus x1 is still what? x1 is still what? x1 is 1. 3 times v1 is what? 1. All over what? 3 times what? In the middle. V is what? Osim 3. V1 is what? Osim 3. K3 is it's equal to what? X2 is what? That's what you are looking for, right? Good. Times what? U2 is what? Perfect. Plus what? We are still looking for what? X2, right? Times V2 is what? Good. All over what? U2 is what? V2 is what? 3 times 3 is what? 3 times 1 is what? 3 times 1 is what? Is equal to this time this. You can just simply bring out x2. Hope you know. I have what? 3. We have what? 3 plus what? 3. True of us? True of us? Not true. It's true. Is what? True. Then all over what? 9. Here we give you 3 plus 3 is what? 2f, right? 12 divided by 3 is what? 4. Is equal to 3 plus 3 is what?
6.
Huh? What's that? You say what? What's that? Here is what? 2f. Is equal to what? 3 plus 3 is what? 6 times x2 is what? 6x2 over what? 9. So that means if you make x2 the subject of the formula, this implies that x2 is now equal to what? 4 times what? 9 over what? 6. 4 times 9 is what? Divided by 6? 6. X is what? 6. This one is for those that want to add Django. This one is what? Simplified. So anyone is okay, depending. X, is that what? I'm saying, I see it here now. Look at it. X2. Remember, you are moving from one state to another state. This is X1. I just expanded this thing. And you have S1, U1, S1, U, V1, X2, U2, X2, V2. Is it clear? Express yourself well now. Let me understand your question. That is factorization now. If you factorize this, you get this. You don't know. You don't know. What again now? There's S2 here. In factorization now, there's S here, there's S2 here now, and the operation between them is plus. So bring out what? Is it clear? So this one is bring question, feel free. Okay, let's look at this question. The question says the weight WkG of a metal bar. The weight WkG of a metal bar varies jointly as its length in meters and the square of its diameter If W is 140, when D is 4, and L is 54, find D in terms of W and what? L. The way WKG of a metal varies jointly as its length, and the square of what is what? Diameter. Now listen carefully. Hello? Listen carefully. In as much as I give an example of variation, this variation on the board, I want you to always use common sense in some question. Now look at this question now. If you look at this question, you will see that the weight varies jointly as the length and the square of its diameter. This is the rod. There are some questions you see. You don't just go and start quoting formula you are given. Try to understand the question. Look at this is, let's assume this is the rod, right? This is the what? The length, right? And this is the what? Diameter. The weight, do you think all other things being constant, do you think the weight of this rod, what type of relationship or variation do you think should exist between the weight of the rod and the length? What type of, forget about the question, what type of variation do you think should exist between the weight of the rod and the length? Other things being constant. What type of variation do you think? Is what? Inverse. Weight and length. So as length is more, the weight will be more. I said the weight and the length. What type of relationship do you think should exist? Is what? Hey. Eh? I mean, we'll soon write some textbooks in Igbo language. Maybe that will make us understand this better. On a more serious note, and this is one reason why we are having issues in different languages. English is not a language, and it's affecting us. If you go to China, they use Chinese in writing their textbooks. But here, I don't know. It's quite unfortunate. And it's affecting us. Okay, let me explain it in Igbo language. Iwete igwe kita igwe na abo hancha bụ the same size, the same just so here na igwe na abo abụ na ofu igwe to ogologo nke ọzọ pempe. Kedu ka weti ya ga-aka? What are you speaking in English language? So what type of variation do you think will exist? Is it direct or inverse? Is what? Is that it now? All other things being constant. As the weight increases, as the length increases, the weight to do what? Increase. True of us, other things being what? Constant for the two rods, right? Now, so what of, let's consider the next quantity expressed here is what? Diameter. This is the diameter. All other things being constant. Do you think the diameter, what about relationship do you think will exist between the diameter? Forget about the square, just normal relationship. Should be direct, indirect, or direct or inverse. The diameter. All things being constant. It should be what? It should be what? If the diameter increases, will the weight increase? What is the diameter in the first place? What is diameter? This is a rod. This one is a rod. Other things being constant. Which of them has it? These two can higher the diameter. So do you think this one, other things being constant to the same thing, the same length, the same whatever? Which one should have a higher the diameter? This one. And which one should have a higher weight? Heavier. Then why is it very difficult to answer me the question now? I'll be asking you a 6. So what type of relationship do you think will exist between the diameter and the weight? It's direct. So a human being is still staying inverse here. How is it inverse? Because that means that the thing has what? More this thing. True of us, when they were casting it, they casted more what? If it's iron, more liquid iron was poured, right? To get that diameter. All the factors being what? Constant. So with this now, can we now say that W is directly proportional to what? To what? Length. And what? W is still directly proportional to what? D what? Square. Can we say so? It says square. Square of the diameter. Can we say so?
Yes.
Can we say so? Can we say so? Yes. W is directly proportional to what? L. The same W is directly proportional to what? So either in the case now, that means W is what? Is directly proportional to what? L dot what? D what? Square. So W is now equal to what? L what? K what? K what? L what? D square. So K is now equal to what? W over what? L D square. But you are looking for what? We say we should find what? Find what? Find D in terms of what? L and D. So now let's find the constant first, okay? Let's find the constants. If K is now equal to what? The W is what? The first set is what? 140. 140 over what? 140 over what? 54 times what? D is what? 4 square is what?
16.
Don't worry. 4 times what? 4. Are we together? Are we together? Now, with this now, we are good to go. We can divide, cancel out, and get what? Our K. Okay? To avoid wasting time, just punch your what calculator so we don't waste time. If not, this should give us 7 divided 54 is what? 7 times 54 is what? Is it 9? Or 10? Which one? Or 8? It's 8, right? Good. It's 8. So 8 should be here. If 8 is here, this is what? 20. Right? Then this is what? This is what? 4. This is what? 10. So we have what? 10 over what? Okay, so something can still go here. This is what? 5. This is what? 2. So we have what? 5 over what? 4 times 4. 16 times 2. 32. 5 over what? 5 over what? 32. Are we together? Good. If what we did is correct, K is what? 5 over what? 40. Because this is 7 divided 4 is 8. 7 into this is 20. 2, 4. 2 what? 10. Let me make it a bulk number so I don't start this my seasonless division. This is what? This is what? We have 140 over what? 54 times what? 16. Let me break it down so I can easily. So this is what? 8, right? This is 20. 4 can go here, right? It's simple. We have 5. 4 can go here. We have what? 2. Is something 5 over what? Is it something? It's not, right? It's not, right? Good. This is what? It is. 4 times 4 is what? 16, 32. Is 5 over what? 32. Now, K is what? 5 over what? 32. I can agree here, right? So if K is 5 over what? 32. We now have, remember, let's go back, let's put it back to the what? This equation. We have that K is not, that W is now what? W is now what? 5 over what? 32 times what? L what? L what? D what square. This is the connecting what? Formula. Are we together? That W is 5 over 32 times what? LD squared. Now, but we are asked to find what? D, not D squared. So to do that, let's make D squared a subject of the formula first. And to do that, let's divide both sides by 5 over 32L. Okay? 5L over what? That's 2. So we divide both sides by 5L over what? Over what? 32. 5L over what? 32. So this will cancel what? This. We have that this square is equal to. Remember our rule of this thing, fraction. This will come up, right? We have. Okay. Let's go back again. It doesn't call for noise. Let's go back again. Oh yeah, let's do it again. This is what? 7 divided 54 is what? 8. 7 divided 140 is what? 20. Is it 20? Can 4 go here? 4 divided 2 is what? 4 divided 8 is what? 2. 4 divided 20 is what? 5. So we have 5 here. 2 times 4 is what? 8 times 4 is what? 7 times 7, 49. Right? 7 times 7, 49 plus another 7, 56. Sorry. Thank you. That's why sometimes I don't like asking to a question. They just give you one wrong answer. You carry it and solve it on the board. You think that they are giving you the correct answer. Now let's go. See, you have what? Don't worry. Let's do it right now. This is what? 1 what? 40 over what? Over what? 54. Times what? 16. Okay, now let's go. Let's go. Where do I stand? I must stand somewhere now. I can't hang in the air. I've tried. See now, if I go there, they can't see the board. Okay, like this. Is it okay like this? Yeah. No. I don't know where I should stand now. Should I climb this place? I don't know what to do. So just when did you? When did you? So let's go. What will happen now? 4 divided 140 is what? Wait. 2 times 4. 2 times 35 is 70. I agree with you. Confirmed. I will confirm anything you tell me now. Oh yeah. What next? Not to go again. So let's at this point now. We have no choice again. Can you book everything? We have what? Over what? 2 and what? Good. Let me confirm again. 2 times 54 is 108. I agree. So let's continue. So we have now. At this point now, we carry this thing now and put it here now. 3 of us to get the linking what? Formula. 3 of us. And to achieve that, W is now equal to what? W is now equal to what? 35 over what? 216 times what? L what? But what you are looking for is what? What are you looking for? D. So let's make D squared is short the formula. Remember that this is 35 times L is 35 L over what? So we have what? Divided by 35 L over what? 216, right? All over what? Over what? 216. So if that is the case, this will do what? Cancel this. That means this square is now equal to what? W over what? That's 5L over what? 216. This square is now equal to, remember, this statement is saying this will come up, right? We have 216. This statement is saying this divided by what? Over what? This will come up. So we have 216 what? 216 what? W over what? That 5 what? So our D is now equal to what? Square root of what? Over what? That 5L. The question says find what? D in terms of what? W and what? L. Did they give us the value of what? W. Did they give us the value of what? L. So you leave your answer like this. They're not as you can do here. They're not as you can do again at this junction. So what this question brought out is, you know, when I used a situation whereby X, see, anything from here to here is subject of formula. Yes, simple. So any here from here to here now is just change of subject of formula. I'm casting something. Do it. If you want to mention your formula, say yes. Then do it now. If you don't know how to do it in your notes, simple. Forget what I'm canceling. Unless you don't know, then I'll teach you how to do it on the board. Aria, you don't know it. You say you don't know it. I'll teach you how to do it on the board. But that is just change of what. There are nothing new there. You just made this the sort of what. You must not do it the way I hope you know. What matters at the end, we are able to make the sort of what. That's what matters. You must not follow this step I took. Okay? Okay, I choose the other method. I am and never. Some will get confused. They're not good. What's that? But then, if I start it, we'll not go here. We'll get confused. That's why I use the simpler form. Okay? You know, if you're not careful, you do S1, you carry S2 and go and join in S1. At the end, you fail it. I think after this, I think we should, after answering this question, I think we should go to partial variation. Then talk about partial variation. Then I know we keep solving questions until 9:45. Then we know that we are done with what? Variation. So after this, I will introduce partial variation. Say one of the only in the class. Eh?
It's not the ladder.
So after this, we just do the partial variation. Then after that, we now solve any question as many as we can before 9:45. After which, we'll say bye-bye to variation. In our next class, we enter pharmaceutical measurements. All right, let's look at this question. I think after this, we'll go to what? Joint variation. Let's see. The question says, the universal gas law states that the volume V in meter cube of a given mass of an ideal gas, the volume of a given mass of an ideal gas varies directly with its absolute temperature. Volume that is proportional to what? T. and inversely with it pressure. The same V is inversely proportional to what? Pressure, right? Good. Hello? Now, a certain mass of a gas at an absolute temperature 257 Kelvin and pressure 10 raised to 5 Newton per meter square has a volume of 0.0225 meter cube. A. Find a formula that connects P, V, and T. B. Hence, find the pressure of the gas when its absolute temperature is 374 Kelvin and its volume is 0.018 meter cube. First of all, this is the expression we have. This is the variation, right? V varies directly proportional to what? T. And V is inversely proportional to what? P. P. So that means that V is actually what? Proportional to T over what? Are we together? So let's remove this sign of proportionality. V becomes what? K what? T over what? P. So K is now equal to what? VP over what? Over T. Anyone, they are the same thing. You can see also VP over or what? T. They are what? The same thing. Now, in that case, now we are told to find the connecting formula. So we will find K first, okay? Yeah. So from the question, what is it? K will now become what? The first P, giving the first set of P is what? The first value of P is what? 10 3 raised to what? 5 Newton per watt times the volume is what? First volume is what? Let's move it to standard forms immediately, so we don't waste our time here. 2 point what? Decimal movement, right? How many? 1, 2, right? Minus what? Minus 2 meter what? Cube. All over temperature. Temperature is what?
275 Kelvin.
2 what?
75 Kelvin.
75 what? Kelvin. Now, K is now equal to what? I sure this in 275 or 225? 275. You are sure? And you're sure that this one is 2.25 or 2.75? Confirmed?
Yes.
Okay, let's go. So we now have what? We now have what? What should be the, of course, the meter here? Don't worry. Here is now equal to what? This is what? Minus 3, right? 2 point what? 25 times 3 raised to what? Sorry, 3. 3 what? Newton what? Newton meter over what? Hope you know how I got Newton meter. This is Newton per meter square. So this is automatically minus what? 2. Hope you know. You have to take care of this m cube. So what remains is what? 1m. This is sitting as saying Newton meter square times what? Is what? Newton what? Meter. This will cancel this. We have 1m is Newton meter. Please don't throw away a unit, okay? Constant can have units. Hope you know. So don't throw it away and say it's a constant. You can have what? Units. Now, so the unit here is now equal to Newton meter. So this will take care of this one. We have what? 3, not minus 3. So what is left now? This is the value of what? K. This is the value of what? K. Now, if we want, we can bring this in down and go down and have our this thing. If you divide this now, what will it give you? Basically, 2. If you make it 225 over what? 275. What are you likely to get? 8 point what? Are you sure? 8 point what? 8.18 Newton meter per Kelvin. This is the value of what? K. This is the value of K. So you bring K back to the what? We want to answer the first question to this what? Equation to get the linking formula. That means V is equal to what? 8 point what? 18. 8.18 what? 8.18 what? Talk now. Huh? I talk now. 8.18 T over what? Over what? P. Over what? P. Meter what? Cube. Are we together? Are we together? Yes. Good. Do you know how I arrived at meter cube? Do you know? No. Do you know how I arrived at meter cube? No. Learn how to play with units. Okay. Now look at this now. It's simple now. This one has unit of this thing. The constant has unit of what? Newton meter per Kelvin. That is constant, which is K, right? K is here. Temperature had the unit of what? Okay. Kelvin, right? Then over P, pressure has the unit of what? See? Newton meter. Newton what? Meter. Divided by what? Newton what? Meter. See? See? Newton what? See? What is the wait to? Are you serious? What is the unit of pressure? Newton what? What is the pressure yourself in the first place? What is pressure? Formula for pressure is what? Hey! Wait to, are you serious? Wow! You've forgotten. Don't say that, please. That's so wrong to say. At this level, don't talk about it. It's very wrong. Pressure is what? Force per unit what? Area now. What is the SI unit of force? Newton. What is the SI unit of area? Meter squared. So pressure is Newton per meter squared. And it's there on the board. What is going on here? Look at it here now. Newton over what? So we have brought I want to talk about how we got this meter cube. Hope you know. So this will now be, remember this fraction will come up, right? So we have Newton meter per Kelvin times what? Kelvin times what? Meter square over what? Newton. Newton will cancel Newton. Kelvin will cancel Kelvin. Hope you know. Meter times meter square is what? Meter cube. So this should be the what? Connecting formula between, what is it called again? For pressure, volume, and what? Temperature. Yes, that's the number one answer. Now, this, if you're able to get this answer, you are, what's that? Okay, each there. Chai. Yeah, give me a good. This is what? Remember, we just combine, just put the unit of these things together to know the unit of what should be a tempo. This is what is it called? This one is what? Newton per. Constance is Newton meter per what? Kelvin. Times temperature, which is what? Kelvin. Divided by what? Pressure, which is what? Newton meter what? Square. This is right now saying N meter per Kelvin. Hope you know that. Are you aware that this is not simply saying over K? Hope you know. Times what? K. Times what? Meter square over what? Newton. K will cancel K. N will cancel N. Meter times meter square is what? Meter cube. So now, this says, hence, find the pressure of the gas when its absolute temperature is 374 Kelvin. And the volume is what? So we are looking for the what? Pressure. So we make pressure in sort of the what? Formula. So B says from this thing now, from this linking formula or connecting formula, we are asked to find the what? Pressure. So make pressure the sort of the formula. P becomes what? 8.18 T over what? Over what? Over what? V, right? Good. The statement is saying 8.18 times the temperature is what? Remember that this is constant and it has what unit. Remember, the unit is what? Newton what? Times what? T is what? T is what? The new T is what? 3 what? 74 Kelvin. All over what? The volume is what? 0. What? 0.18 meter what? Cube. Let's tackle the unit first. Kelvin will cancel what? Kelvin. Right? 1 meter here, we take care of 1 meter here. We are left with what? Meter square. So pressure is what? 8.18 times 334 divided by 0.01. What's the answer? 8.18 times 34 over 0.018. Equal on Fuma. 3 what? No. Hey, what's going on here? Please, who knows how to use calculator? I know what I'm saying. Who? Oh yeah. Who is that person? Press. Just one person that knows how to use a calculator. Oh yeah, press. 8.18 times 374 divided by 0.018. 22. Okay, it's okay. It's okay. Just 22 is okay. Pressure is what? Newton per what? Meter or square. 169. So 169,962.2 Newton per meter square. Wow. Yeah, here we got pressure manzi. M squared. Never. No, I cancelled one unit here. Cancel this one. So the remaining one is M squared. That's why the unit is Newton per meter squared. Because the meter here cancel, take care of the meter in the denominator, meter cube. So what remains is meter squared. Is it clear? Bless you. Do this thing in your notes. It's simple. Forget what I did. I cancel the units. On a normal, the volume is which is meter cube now. Hey, blah blah, blah blah. All right, so I think at this juncture we enter what? Partial variation. All right, as you write, I want to say one or two things concerning partial variation. I want to ask us a very important question, and I want us to brainstorm. If you brainstorm very well at this level, you will understand partial variation. You will understand partial variation. I like my students to always think out of the box, not those that will sit down, they will copy and go home, cram and come and pour, and disappear. If you call them to come and solve a problem, they will not be able to solve a problem. Real life issues, they will not be able to solve it. when they go to where they are working. You know, every employer knows the valuable staff. Hope you know. Are you aware? Every employer knows the what? Valuable staff. And also knows those that he used to increase the number of staff working with him or her. So he just used those one to make the valuable staff feel as if we are working. I have people I am working with. And when you want to talk about something very, very important about the company, that valuable staff, you do what? He will call to hear his or her own what? Ideas. And you that is just there, when you not contribute, you'll be envying and you become jealous that you always, if you call, you won't contribute anything. It's not I am. He knows, he or she knows, he interacts with you. He knows what you bring to the what? To a table. So that's why I want you to learn how to. You may come here. Do you know that there are people that will enter here? There are set of people that will enter here. As they enter, this chair will be there. This one will be there. They just go and sit down. But there are people that will enter here. When they see that do those things, they cannot be comfortable. They may not be the most intelligent people in the class. They may not be the most intelligent, but they are not comfortable. You see them on their own. They will get those that they can speak to on their own. They will start putting it in order. These things you may think is something that is that person is thinking yes. He's thinking about it. Okay, this thing is not good. Let me do it. Let me do this way. And believe you me, tomorrow, if someone wants to make a recommendation, anywhere you are, somebody, is there any of your classmates that can do something like they can do this, can do this thing? He may not be the most intelligent, but company don't play with such people. Am I completing? These are people that think. It's not just about wasting time coming here to copy notes. So I want us to brainstorm now. Let's do it together. Now, women, not only women, guys too, that go to sew clothes, right? You go to a tailor to sew clothes. Maybe we have two tailors, tailor A, tailor B. Let's assume that Iffy, let me use Iffy and Blessing. Iffy and Blessing. Let me just use one tailor is okay. Iffy and Blessing may go to one tailor to sew their clothes. Maybe that's one ashebi they want to do. Maybe Chinaza want to do her trad. He involved them in her ashebis. The same material, the same cost from the same supplier, the same person, they bought it the same material. But are you aware that they may go to the same tailor to sew this clothes, the same material, in the same? The cost of the two of them will not be what? Same. Why? And what? Style. All those style, design, heights, what have you, boils down to the time it will take the tailor to do what? Will the color make the price increase? No. The color has no business with time, true of us. But the shape will take the tailor more time to do. The height, the size will take the tailor more time to do what? All these things contribute to the cost. You see that total cost may not be what? The same thing. The cost of sewing the clothes may differ, even though two of them bought the same what? Material. This type of variation is seen in what? Partial variation. In partial variation, a part is constant and a part varies. So if you see partial variation like this, you have to, let me use that this cost as an example, cost of sewing clothes as an example. The cost of sewing clothes is partially constant. Am I communicating? Partially what? Constant. Partially what? Constant. Let me use A. At the same time, partly varies with the time used spent in sewing the what? The clothes. K what? T. C is the cost of the what? The cost, total cost of this both of the clothes. Am I completing? The one that is constant, E, is the cost of the what? The material is constant because it's the same price, right? Then K is also a constant, but constant of the variation with T. Am I communicating? So T is the time taken to do what? Sew the clothes. So these two parts contribute to the cost, total cost of the what? Sewing of clothes. Remember, I told you sometime in the past that when we introduce variation, I told you that, are you aware that the cost of the power consumption, energy consumption, your electricity bill, the bill of your electricity they bring for you in your house, to your house, is based on this partial what? Variation. Am I communicating? If you have noticed, those that pay the bill starting from the manual one, say before this what is it called? If you look at it, you will still see there's always a fixed amount. That's the constant. That's this E here. Then there's another part that varies with the load and thing you have in your this. True of us. That's the other part. Two of them contribute to your what? The cost of your what? Of the bill of your what? Energy for the month. Now with this at the back of our mind, and this thing now will lead us to simultaneous equation, because the constant we should find here, we'll find this constant and find what? This constant. So we will simultaneously find this and what? This in this calculation. So with this, I want to bring down this long story in mathematical what? Form, so we can appreciate it what? Better. Any question on partial variation? Let's solve it. Any question? You see, I allow you to bring a question now. If they do what I don't know. We now enjoy new way with the question. Why do you enjoy? What the question is supposed to be? Okay, let's look at this question. The question says, the cost of making a dress is partly constant and partly varies with the amount of time it takes to make the dress. If the dress takes 3 hours to make, it costs 2,700. If it takes 5 hours to make, it costs 3,100 naira. Find the cost if it takes 1.5 hours to make the dress. Now let's put down the variation now. Let's see the what? Let's see what cost of what? The dress, right? Good. Now, and the T is what to what? Time. So since it's partly constant and partly varies, we put it in this one, right? That C is equal to the cost now is equal to what? They said it's partly what? Constant. You can put in here, okay? And what? Partly varies with what? Time. Okay, what? T. Now, when the time is what? 3 hours. The cost is what? 27. Therefore, let's put cost and time. Therefore, 2,700 naira is equal to what? E plus what? The time is what? 3 hours. 3 what? K. True of us? Are we together? 3K. Equation what? 1. If it takes 5 hours to make the dress, the cost is what? 3,001. So 3,100 naira is equal to what? E plus what? 5K. Equation what? 2. So we solve the 2 equations. Our target is to find what? This constant, okay? So we solve simultaneously. We solve what? You can solve by substitution method. You can anyone or elimination. Anyone want to do. Any of them can go. Okay. Let's not waste our time. Let's just eliminate his straight. Let's just remove him. Okay. We can subtract. Hope you know. He will go. Hope you know. So what here will be what? Minus what? Minus not okay. Minus what? 400 what? Is equal to if I say true or false? Minus what? Minus 2K, right? So we want to find K. We divide both sides by 2, right? So K is now equal to what? Minus 400 naira divided by what? Minus 2, which is what? Minus cancel minus. This is what? 200 what? There is something I want us to point out here. There's something now. What do you think should be? Remember, this time here has hour, right? True or false? So what do you think should be the unit of K? £200 per what? Hour. True or false? True or false? True or false? Because this is time, right? It has a unit, remember, which is hour, right? So that means, so what it means is that simplification. If the tailor spends 1 hour in sewing the clothes, he adds extra what? 200 naira. Each hour he spends in sewing the cloth, 200 naira. So if he spends 20 hours in sewing the cloth, how much? 20 times 4,000 naira. So it will be increasing. The white men don't joke with this type of thing because that's why they work with hours. They don't play with their time. But here with anything, okay, Chigu, nah. It just fits any price. But their own, they calculate it well. What it means is that every hour you spend on sewing the clothes, 200 naira is he's making 200 naira. So now let's go. So we have found what the cost at 200 naira per what hour. Let's find this E. Let's find this E. So if this K is 200 naira per hour, so we can substitute the value of K in any of these equations, true or false. So let's use number 1. So if that means that 2,700 naira is equal to what? E plus 3 times what? Remember, this is 3 hours. Remember, true or false? Times K, 200 naira per what? Per hour. Hour will do what? You are left with 200 naira, right? 3 times 200 naira is what? So that means 2,700 naira is equal to what? E plus what? 600 what? Naira. So E is now equal to what? 2,700 naira minus what? 600 naira, which is what? 2,100 naira. Now, what this means is this: that cloth material they bought it at what? 2,100 naira. The material was bought at what? 200 naira, 2,100 naira. So, if let's assume now, let's go back to blessing and the iffy for Chinazas and try. Now, 200 now bought the clothes material at 2,100 naira, right? Now, If the tailor spent 10 days sewing for blessing and just only 2 days sewing for a farmer, what will it cost for a blessing? 200 times 10 time 1 hour per 200 hour per hour. 200 times 10 is what? 2,000 plus the cost of the clothes. 4,100. So she will spend 4,100 in sewing the clothes. If he is how much? Just a day is what? 200. 2,000 what? 3. 2 right? For a farmer, 4,100 for blessing. Is it clear now? Now, so we now found what? 200 naira. This is the cost of the clothes. But the question says we should do what? For us to find this now, what we now do is let's put this back to the equation to find the connecting what? Equation, okay? So the connecting equation is now what? C is equal to what? E is what? 2,1 plus what? K is what? 200 what? T. Look at it. So for blessing, 2,100 is the cost of the what? But blessing only is 10. Hey, what did I say? 10 what? Days, right? 24 hours. 24 hours times 10, 240 hours times 200. Blessing. Now, if you multiply it, this time is what? Let's assume is 10 hours, okay? Let's assume it's what? 10 hours. Let's assume it's just what? 10 hours. So blessing will now be 10 hours times 200 is what? 2,000. Plus 200, 2,001 is what? 4,001. No, this is just an equation. Leave the sign, this. Everything will give us cost in naira. Because you know that this time, this constance is 200 per hour. This hour here will cancel it. Everything will go what? Naira. Plus 2,100 naira. It gives you what? 4,000 what? 1 naira. 100 naira. Now, this is the linking formula. This is the linking formula. With this linking formula, we cannot answer this question. The question says, find the cost if the time is what? 1.5 hours. Simple. The cost is now equal to what? 2,000 what? 100 plus what? Plus what? Are you following? Are you following? Yes. Hope you know that this one has a unit of naira. Hope you know. Yes. E is in naira, right? Then plus 200. Remember, this is constant. The unit is what? Naira per what? Per what? Hour. Times the time, which is what? 1.5 hour, which is what? 3/2 what? True of us? 3/2 what? Hours. Hour will do what? 2 will take care of 200. You have what? 100 times 3 is what? Plus 2,1 is what? So if the tailor spends 1.5 hours sewing the clothes, that means the cost will become what? 2,400 naira. This is what partial variation is what? All about. Am I completed? This is what partial variation is what? All about. I think we'll stop here. Your PhD lecturer is here. We'll stop here in our you get PhD lecturer. I can't keep her waiting. Maybe after our time has even expired. I think we should end by 9:45, but it's not at all. It's okay. Let her teach. It's our time. It's our period. So I think we should stop here. Any other question, any other thing we'll solve. Let it be in our next class, okay? Maybe see what we will do. We will our next class to solve variation, just variation. Any variation question you have, that's what we do next 2 hours in our next class. We spend 2 hours solving variation. Once we are done with that time, on Friday we enter under what? Topic. Under what? Topic. All right, thank you very much for your attention. God bless you.